And they're brought in because they need to basically farm and till the land with tobacco, right? That's essentially what it is. If you remember why it is that we have slavery in this country, there's one word to remember: economics. It has nothing to do with the fact that they wanted slaves. It just meant that it was going to be easier to have a labor force that they could always pull from and always get, and never have to worry about getting other people. I remember back a few class sessions ago, they couldn't use Native Americans to farm the tobacco, right? Tobacco is a labor-intensive crop. You couldn't use Native Americans. Why? Too many of them. And they're dangerous. And by the way, they're probably not going to be subjugated easily. Not enough indentured servants. Okay, indentured servants are going to work off their servitude after 5 to 7 years. So there's just simply not enough of them. So who do you bring in to do the work? You only can look to Africa. Why not look to Africa? Now, if you're I don't know if you guys know a lot about African history. If you do, that's cool. If not, here's a little bit of it. African kingdoms throughout the Middle Ages and even before that, see, slavery is nothing new, right? I mean, we're going back to the days of like the great empires in the world. Going back to the Bible and slavery. African kingdoms have been trading slaves all throughout the Middle Ages, right? So, when the Portuguese come and explore Africa, they discover that. And it becomes very apparent that perhaps, should a labor force be needed, that market can be tapped, because you can make a deal or two with an African king or something, and those people that they're trading slaves, the Europeans can get in on that market too. And this market becomes a tremendous business in the 1700s. And you're going to see how much of a business it was by this documentary. It's going to floor you. Because, again, it's like, whoa. You have in the South 2 distinct areas that kind of, 2 labor-intensive crops that basically need slaves. In the Chesapeake region, like Virginia and stuff, you have tobacco. In the lower South, you have primarily rice that's being farmed. Both of these crops require an immense amount of people. Again, slaves from Africa seem to fit the bill in terms of who can do the work, and that's why they're brought over. Here's another statistic for you. 300,000 Africans were brought between 1619 and 1780. 95% of those Africans were brought to the South. It may seem obvious to you that the northern states didn't have slavery, like it may seem very obvious. But the reason they didn't need it is because they had plenty of people already to work the land. So slavery was very much a part of that culture in the South. Now, what I'm going to do is, in order to make sure I don't break up like the video here, because I want to watch the thing in its entirety and do a little bit of discussion about it. So what I'm going to do is take the liberty of, it's 7:10. I'm going to give you a 10-minute break now. We're going to come back at 7:20, and then we're just going to go full blow into the kind of the history of slavery. And that's what we'll do. And then we'll talk about kind of wrapping it up in terms of everything else. Okay, so take your 10-minute break now, a little bit early, so that we can not be interrupted. Thank you.